There is some great real estate out in the Tampa Bay area and some great buys and some great investments. And in today's show, we are going to talk about some things you need to know to buy these investment properties or second homes.
Good morning. My name is Ron Morris. This is Moving Forward TV, your local real estate and mortgage update.
And I am Delynn Gaston. Thanks for joining us today. On today's show, we are going to touch briefly on something that's becoming more and more popular these days, investment property purchases.
And let's not forget about second homes.
Right.
Here in the sunny state of Florida, we see a lot of second homes.
Florida, the land of the sun and fun, and right now a great opportunity for home buyers. We all know in the last several years, real estate prices have come so far down in Florida, and a lot of out-of-state investors know this as well. So investment properties have become very much the forefront. So we wanted to talk about investment properties and some of the things that we need to know about doing investment properties.
And we're going to lump second homes in there as well.
Yep.
Together with the values that where they are today, coupled with the low interest rates, people are starting to take advantage of that. I know you and I were kind of talking off screen a little bit ago. I've had several clients, and I think you have as well, over the last couple of years, people that are going to be retiring down in Florida, particularly from the Northeast.
Sometime in the next few years.
Right, from 3 to 5 years, and they're looking at buying the properties now because of the values and the rates, knowing that it's going to be lower today than it will be when those people are ready to retire. Right.
Now, some of the things to keep in mind when doing this, so we're really kind of gearing this towards those purchases, as opposed to just your regular first-time home buyer who is going to be an owner-occupied property or whatever. That's different. So on that, we're going to go back and forth. So the key points that we need to know, one is the loan to value, how much do they have to put down. These are some of the main questions we get all the time. Number two, of that down payment, how much has to be their own money
Whose
versus
money is it?
gift? We all know about that as well. Reserves is another big thing. Reserves are how much money is left over after we buy the house. And the fourth thing is the seller contribution. How much can the seller actually contribute towards the purchase of this property?
And let's just jump right into down payment. On a second home, you can get in with as little as 10% down compared to an investment property.
An investment property, you're going to need, if it's a single family home, you're going to need 20% down. And if it's a duplex, a 2 to 4 unit property, you're going to need 25% down.
And let's move into reserves on that. Again, on a second home, you're just going to need 2 months reserves. After all the down payment, closing costs, everything's paid, you need at least 2 months PITI payment on that property left over in a bank. And that could be a 401, an IRA, doesn't matter, but you need 2 months reserves on a second home, which is considerably different than an investment property.
On an investment property, you need 6 months reserves.
Now, question, what if I own 3 properties?
If you own 3 properties, you need reserves for every single property. You need 6 months reserves on the subject property, and then you need 2 months reserves on all of your other properties. So keep that in mind. So, you know, investment right now is a great thing. If you're already an investor, you probably already know all of this stuff. But if you're just thinking, hey, now's a great time to buy some real estate because it is so low and everything, we wanted to give you this heads up. You can't get in. Remember the old days? It was like, you know,
100% financing?
100% financing, investment property. Who cares about credit? You know, no down payment. Buy it on a credit card. In fact, there were infomercials like crazy to be able to do these things with no money down. Not the case anymore. You have to have money into the transaction, and you have to have reserves backing it up.
And playing onto that, let's talk about money in the transaction. With a down payment on a second home, again, I had mentioned 10% down. 5% of that money can be a gift. Now, a gift can be a relative.
5% has to be your own funds.
5% of that 10 has to be your own funds.
Verifiable.
The remainder can be a gift. And a gift can be basically from a relative. I think they define it this way. A relative, a person related by blood, marriage, adoption, legal, guardianship, fiance, or a domestic partner can qualify for a gift. Now, on an investment property, a little different.
Gift funds are not permitted for any part of the down payment. They're not permitted for, they are permitted a little bit for closing costs, but you need to have.
Well, not gift, that would be seller contribution.
You need to have, now gift funds too, you need to have all of that money on your own for the down payment. Whereas on a second home, the down payment, we're allowed to gift some of the down payment. Half of it. But on an investment property, the whole down payment has to be your own funds. only the closing costs can be gifted. And then the last thing is the seller contribution that Ron brought up that we wanted to touch on as well.
Okay, on a second home, if you're putting 10% down, 3% seller contribution. Basically, 3% of that sale price the seller can contribute towards your closing cost, possibly escrows too. Now, if you're putting a larger down payment down, anywhere from 25 to, or from 10.001% to 15% down, 25% down, the seller can contribute 6%. If you're putting 25.01% down, they actually can contribute up to 9%. I've never seen that before, but those are the guidelines. Now, a little different than an investment, of course.
On an investment property, the maximum, regardless of how much money you put down, the most that the seller can contribute is 2%. That's it.
Period, end of
That's
story.
it. So on an investment property, you can see it is a great time to buy investment property. It is a great time to jump into the market and to do that, but make sure you have all of your ducks in a row. Make sure that you have some money backing you behind you, because you aren't getting in on nothing these days.
And I'll leave you on this note too, for the realtors out there, if you're not advertising out of state, for some second home people in particular, you need to be. I know I've dealt a lot lately, and I know you have as well. Again, particularly from the Northeast, but it could be from anywhere, that they're going to retire down here and look at buying that second home. So if you can have some marketing trying to attract that type of client, it's money well spent.
That's our show this week. Thanks so much for watching.
And don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions relating to the investment properties that we were talking about,
or second homes,
or anything mortgage related. By all means, reach out to us and let us know. You can reach us by phone, God forbid, email, text, social media, all that wonderful
Twitter,
stuff that I know so much about.
Blogging, we're even doing some of that. I also wanted to take a quick moment to talk about our website. I used to talk about it all the time. I don't talk about it that much anymore, but this website is a wealth of information. We've been doing mortgages for over 100 years, or so it seems. It feels like it. Over here on the website, we have a video tab that has very short 1 to 2 minute videos that really are how-tos.
Good information there, especially for first-timers.
Do's and don'ts when buying a house. So those are really good to forward out to people. Also, on this side of our website is our partner side. Click on any of these links and that brings you to our partner page, which then brings you to their websites. We have some great partners, all real estate related in this, that we all use to help us get all of our stuff done. We have Bernard Movers. Everybody watching this usually needs a moving company at one time or another.
And we have McWilliams & Son for any air conditioning needs that you may have, that you will have.
AC tune-ups, that's right. We also have Dynamic Title Services, who is short sale experts. They are so good. Right now they have 100% completion, 100% accuracy on all of their approvals with their short sales. So they are absolutely fantastic.
And don't forget about Green Tech Pest Control and Termite. They can do same-day service, so that's kind of important if you get yourself in a bind as well.
Right,
so
they have one of those key card things that they can just go in. The realtors don't even have to be there. They can just go and do that. We also have Fine Line Hosting, who is our hosting company to keep our website going every time. And I definitely a special mention to my husband, who is Tampa Bay Multimedia. He does all of the filming, the video, the editing.
The slave driver that we know?
The slave driver behind the camera over there. But if it weren't for him, we wouldn't get this show out. And a lot of people are doing video on their website these days. If you would like to do any video on your website, reach out, talk to us. I'll put you in touch with him because he's fantastic at what he does, obviously. That's our show. We appreciate you watching and forwarding this on. We are Today and Every Day.
Moving forward, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye-bye.